In this video, we're going to project properties from entity collection entities using both shaped results and flattened results. And then also I'm going to demonstrate how to use aliases as you project out your LINQ queries into results. So let's get started. You can see I'm still working with that ADONet for LINQ to entities project. I've just got everything commented out up before this final line here. And so what I want to do first of all is project properties from entity collection entities using shaped results, meaning that I still want to retain the hierarchy of the relationship between the objects. Flattened is going to put everything at the same level, whereas a hierarchy is going to keep the in this particular case, a customer will own orders, and you'll be able to navigate through that relationship that's already been established in our data model. So we'll start out with the query syntax, and then we'll move on to the method syntax. So first of all, let's work with var customers equals from C and de.customers. And this time, all I want to do is choose one column. Let's just pick last name from the customers entity. And then we're going to also choose everything, all the orders for that given customer. But we're only going to pluck out the pieces we need from the customer in particular. So start here, and we'll go select, just like we did in the previous video, into a new anonymous type. And so we'll choose, first of all, the last name, but then we're also going to choose orders. So we're only projecting out the pieces we need, but we're going to use a shaped results again to continue that hierarchy. And we're doing it all up front instead of using the navigation afterwards. We could, as I've demonstrated in the past, just select customers and then later on go .orders. As I explained in the first video, however, what that will do is create a second query and will potentially explode the number of queries that will hit my database. I would prefer to select everything up front that I know I'm going to need and then navigate through that collection. There's a way to do that using toList that we'll demonstrate in the next video to make sure that we're doing the right thing and we're not accidentally grabbing things we shouldn't be grabbing inadvertently from the database. Okay, moving on. Let's do a for each var C and customers. And so here we'll just do a console.writeLine. And I can see I forgot an S here for customers. So back here, we're going to go C.lastName plus we'll just grab the order count. We could iterate through them all, but I don't know if that would prove anything for us right now. We're still, as you can see, our anonymous type where we projected out orders as well as last name, so we were able to get to everything in orders. In this case, all we want to do is just pick the count. So let's run the application. And you can see we have a nicely formatted count of orders, and we're able to accomplish all this without having to create additional queries for each order for each customer. Okay, let's do this now with method syntax. Let me just move this down here and then comment this out. And so this is going to look like var customers equals de.customers.select. And as we've seen the pattern before, we're going to kind of take the same tact that we did in this line of code right here. We'll do something very similar here where we pull last name and C.orders. Now we should get the same results when we run it, and we do. Great. All right, so this is how we grab shaped results. However, we also could flatten the results so that there's no hierarchy. Everything is at the same level. And so that would mean that we would get more rows back, and they would all be flattened. So let me demonstrate how that would work. Let me comment a few things out here. And it really just depends on what you're trying to achieve. So let me start out by saying project properties from an entity collection entities flattened results. All right, so let's start out with var customers equals from C and DE.customers, and we're going to start with showing where the problem resides here. Everything looks good so far, and suppose that all I want to get is the last name, and then I only want to get the order amount for each order. And then, so I'm going to go c.orders.order amount, and there's no order amount available. And you can't do that because there are multiple orders for a single customer. So it's not easy to flatten starting with customer, because in a one-to-many relationship, we're navigating from the one to the many. What we need to do in order to flatten these results out is to flip it around, to go from orders to customer, because that would work. So let me comment this out. So we'll go, in this case, orders from O and DE dot dot orders. Select new O dot order amount. We're able to get that, and then O dot customer dot last name. Okay, and just for fun, I'm going to throw in the order date as well. O dot order date. Okay. And then we'll for each var O and orders, and then console dot write line, and we'll just go O dot last name plus O dot order date dot to short date string plus O dot order amount to string. All right, so let's run that. Now you can see that we get 5 rows, so we've flattened out. It's a combination of, for every customer, for every order, give me all customer orders. So you can see that they're all there. So we flattened the results out in this case. They're all at the same level within our new anonymous type. So how to achieve this? Using the method syntax. Well, let's do something like this. Var orders equals de.orders.select, and to follow the old pattern, nothing new or crazy that we haven't already seen here. O dot order amount, O dot order date, and then O dot customer dot last name. And we can run, and we get the same result. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. We're able to project properties from 2 classes, in one case hierarchically, in the other case flattened out, depending on what you need and how you work through it. You know what you're trying to accomplish. Those are your 2 options whenever you're projecting from 2 different classes using already created relationships between them. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to demonstrate in this video was how to do something like this, except to alias the name, instead of, for example, as we've done here, move from c.orders, we may want to project it out differently, so we can alias. And it's a neat little feature. We can do this in a number of different ways. Let's just start with we'll start with the query syntax. And so let's go var customers equals from C and DE.customers, select new. Here we'll just stick with last name, and then let's go purchase orders equals c dot orders. All right. So now how does this manifest itself in our for each loop? As you would probably expect. So console.writeLine c.lastName plus c dot, there's no orders, there's only purchase orders dot count. Okay. So let's see how that manifests itself when we run this. All right, you really don't see anything different. It's just a way of projecting into an alias as opposed to just using the class names. So there's some interesting things you can do this, and we'll probably see a few as we continue out day 10. But let's move on to the method syntax. And it's pretty simple. Var customers equals de.customers.select. Given C, give me a new anonymous type. And inside of that, as you might expect, last name, and then purchase orders equals c.orders. And if we run it, there you go. Okay, so that wraps up this video. Very simple concepts here. All we're really trying to do is talk about projecting multiple entities into shaped results and then into flattened results, and then also how to use aliases to clarify and give names to parts of the types that we're creating on the fly. All right, so that's part number 2, and in part number 3 we're going to pick this up with talking about how to retrieve single items from our database, because right now we've only been working with collections, and we'll talk about some implications of that. See you in the next video. Thank you.